Dear students, once again we are going to continue with transistor biasing, topic number 2. In that, we are going to study methods of biasing the BJT. We have already studied two methods of biasing. One is a fixed method of biasing, which makes the working of BJT unstable. And to increase the stability of BJT further, emitter bias or self bias method is used. That method also we studied. That method gives the stability to the BJT for its operation regarding the location of its operating point by adjusting the value of resistance Re and also the base resistance Rb properly. Now we have to proceed to deal with a widely used method to bias the BJT or to bias the operating point of BJT exactly in the center of the load line when it is going to act as an amplifier. It is a versatile method, and that method is known as voltage divider biasing method of BJT. Students, it is widely used method of biasing. It is also called as resistor divider biasing method because here the resistance is divided into arms. That is the reason why it is called as resistor divider biasing method. It is also called as bleeder biasing method. Friends, don't confuse between voltage divider, resistor divider and bleeder biasing method. All are one and same. To proceed with that particular biasing method, at the beginning only we can say, by choosing the proper value of resistor divider, two resistors R1 and R2 properly, which is going to decide the base to emitter voltage of BJT that allows proper magnitude of base current to flow through the base of transistor, which will maintain the proper value of collector current so that the position of operating point of BJT is going to be located in the proper region on the load line. So that is why this method is properly used or widely used in most of the biasing techniques. This method of biasing the BJT consists of a transistor Q or T in common emitter configuration to which input signal is applied between base and that of ground, whereas output is taken across collector and that of ground. Here, emitter resistance provides the self-biasing to the BJT as we have already studied. Collector resistance RC, or it is also called as a load resistance RL, across which we are going to get the output voltage. The resistance R1 and R2, which is represented in the figure, it is called as resistor dividing network or voltage dividing network. Resistance R1 is connected between base and VCC, whereas resistance R2 is connected between base and that of ground. So here the resistance is divided into two parts. As the resistance is divided, voltage across the respective resistance is also divided. So that's why it is called as resistor divider biasing method or voltage divider biasing method, and this network is called as resistor dividing network. That sets the proper magnitude of the base current to flow through the base of transistor Q, which will set the proper value of IC. Hence, the operating point of BJT will be stabilized in a proper region on the DC load line. In this figure, VCC is the power supply which is connected to bias the BJT. The important thing is that the voltage across R2, whatever it is generated, it is equal to R2 upon R1 plus R2 into VCC that is applied between base and that of ground. This will set the proper value of IB. Whereas the equivalent resistance of R1 and R2, even though those are connected in series, they are seems to be in parallel. So net resistance of this divided network, that is, we are going to treat as RTH or RB by Thevenin's theorem, it is equal to R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. So these things are going to be analyzed so as to calculate the stability factor, and depends upon that value of stability factor we are going to decide the stability of this particular method of biasing BJT. So let us proceed with the description. The voltage divider biasing method of BJT is also called as Breeder biasing or resistor divider biasing. It provides DC bias independent of beta. That is the important characteristics of this particular method of biasing. It provides the DC bias independent of current gain of transistor. It is the most widely used method of biasing. It consists of BJT, whose biasing is to be done by power supply VCC and resistor R1 connected to base and VCC, resistance R2 connected to base and ground. The resistance RC is equal to load resistance, which will act as the load resistance connected to the collector of BJT, whereas emitter resistance RE provides the self-biasing to the transistor. Voltage across R2 provides the forward biased voltage to the base and that of emitter. Friends, all these aspects are associated with this particular circuitry. You are looking additional two things, that is, one is input capacitor and second one is output capacitor. Those blocks DC and allows path for AC, and also these are used to couple the other stages of the amplifier to this particular stage of amplifier. Now we are going to analyze this particular circuitry. For analysis, we are going to consider AC voltage is reduced to 0 and only the resistor dividing biasing network along with the VCC we are going to consider, and we are going to calculate the equivalent resistance associated with these two resistors. So that's why only by considering the network containing VCC, R1 and R2, which is represented in this particular figure. If you look, this network is containing R1 and R2 as it is appearing in this particular figure. To this, VCC is connected with the positive terminal, negative terminal is grounded. The resistance R2, another terminal resistance R2 is grounded. This is the input capacitor to which we applied the input signal to be amplified. So only this particular part we have considered for the purpose of the analysis, which is represented here. This equivalent diagram is same as that of this particular diagram. To proceed further, this diagram is further reduced or it is made equivalent with like this. Look at here. So here is the R1, R2, and this is the input capacitor to which we are applying the input. Friends, if you look to this, this is the resistance. Just I will improve it so that you are going to recognize it. Look it. So this is merely for your understanding. So this is what the equivalent diagrams that becomes. So here is the supply VCC we have connected to the resistance R1. So this is what the R1 means. So this is the resistance R1 to which we have connected VCC as in the previous figure. This is R2. R2 is connected to R1 and to this the capacitor is connected. This diagram is same as that of this diagram. Look it. To the combination of R1 and R2 the capacitor is connected. To the R1 VCC is connected. R2 another terminal grounded. Try to remember this. Same we are drawing in another way. R1 it is connected to the positive terminal of the VCC, negative terminal of the VCC is grounded. This is the capacitor C which will connect to the common point of R1 and R2, whereas another terminal of R2 is grounded. Now look it. Even though in main figure R1 and R2 appears in series, if you take its equivalent diagram, it becomes equal to which we can call it as the parallel combination of R1 and R2. Now if we combine parallel combination of R1 and R2, that is equal to RB. We are replacing parallel combination of R1 and R2 as RB. In some of the books you are going to get this particular RB value as RTH. That is Thevenin's equivalent of resistance. RB is equal to R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. That is its exact value to which this capacitor is connected, and here we are applying the input signal to be amplified. Means we have simplified the voltage divider network, and finally we came to this particular equivalent diagram that represents the RB or that represents the RTH. Thus we can say from this particular circuitry we can say by looking into the base, from this circuit looking into the base, resistance RB is greater than R2. R1 is greater than R2. Then current through R1 will be completely flow through R2. The effective base resistance RB is a parallel combination of R1 and R2. Look at here. As it is represented. Thus voltage at base of BZT is VB equal to VCC into R2 upon R1 plus R2 by the rule of voltage divider biasing, where RB equal to R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. As VB is very small, VB equal to VE and IE equal to VE upon RE, but IE is equal to IC, therefore IC is equal to VE upon RE. Voltage across RC is given as IC/RC. Hence we can get VC equal to VCC minus IC/RC. Collector to emitter voltage VCE is given as equal to VC minus VCE, that is VCC minus IC/RC minus IRE. V is the voltage across emitter resistor. That remember. So by applying this, by simplifying this, we can get VCC minus IRC minus IRE, because IE is equal to IC. By replacing this IC by IC, IE by IC. But taking IE common, we can write it VC is equal to VCC minus IE common into bracket RC plus RE. Now by applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law, Kirchhoff's voltage law to the base of emitter loop, we can write IB RB. Where we are applying Kirchhoff's voltage law? In this part here. In this loop we are applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law. That remember. So we can get IB RB. RB is equal to R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. VBE plus IE RE minus VCC, that's equal to 0. Put IE is equal to IB plus IC, so that we can get IB RB plus VBE, replace this IE by IB plus IC into RE minus VCC, that's equal to 0. IB RB plus VBE plus, by distributive law we can write it IB RE plus IC RE minus VCC equal to 0. Take IB common between IB RE and IB RB, so that IB RB plus VBE plus IB RE plus IC RE minus VCC, and that's equal to 0. Then take IB common so as to get IB RB plus VBE plus IB plus IC into RE minus VCC, that's equal to 0. IB RB plus VBE plus IB RE plus IC RE minus VCC, that's equal to 0. By taking IB common, these two terms, IB into RB plus RE plus VBE plus IC RE minus VCC equal to 0. Now we have to calculate the value of IB. So that's why transfer RB plus RE to the right side. Along with these two respective terms, and we can get IB is equal to minus VBE minus ICE plus VCC, that's equal to IB into RB plus RE. Therefore IB equal to VCC minus VBE minus ICRE upon RB plus RE. By differentiating this equation with respect to IC, we can get as VCC minus VBE upon RAB plus RE, it is a constant. Therefore, differentiation of VCC minus VBE upon RAB plus RE, it is 0. Only this term that remains, that is minus IC RE upon RB plus RE, its differentiation is minus RE upon RB plus RE into delta IC upon delta IC. So that is 1, which can be further simplified as delta IB upon delta IC is equal to minus RE upon RE plus RB. Put this value of delta IB upon delta IC in stability factor equation, that is S is equal to 1 plus beta upon 1 minus beta delta IB upon delta IC. Means we are replacing this delta IB upon delta IC by what? By minus RE upon RE plus RB. Thus the stability factor becomes S is equal to 1 plus beta upon 1 minus beta into minus RE upon RE plus RB, which can be written as S is equal to 1 plus beta upon, take this Re common, so as to get 1 plus beta into Re upon Re plus Rb, by replacing this negative sign with positive sign. To make S greater than or equal to 1, to make S greater than or equal to 1, the denominator 1 plus beta into Re upon Re plus Rb should be large. Means this factor should be large. To make stability factor less than 1, the denominator 1 plus beta into Re upon Re plus Rb should be large. So as this factor should be large, if beta into Re upon Re plus Rb is large, means this is large. This is large if 1 plus beta, 1 plus Rb upon Re is less. This is less if Rb is less than Re. That is, Rb equal to R1 plus R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2. This should be less than Re. That means it has to satisfy the condition that Rb, which is equal to R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2, it should be less than Rb. That is, when S is less than 1, the circuit is stable. And to make S less than 1, Rb equal to R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2 should be less than Re. So that is, in practice, R1 should be 4 times R2 is selected in voltage divider biasing network. Means if you adjust the value of R1 and R2 so that R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2 is less than Re, then the stability factor S becomes less than 1. And if the stability factor S becomes less than 1, then we can say the working of BJT will be stabilized by stabilizing the operating point exactly on the center of the load line on the output characteristics of BJT. Friends, this is how we can analyze the voltage divider biasing to select the proper value of R1 and R2 and make the operating point stable. Friends, again try to remember, it is a widely used method to bias the BJT properly in most of the amplifier designing aspect. So that's all about the voltage divider biasing network. Today we'll stop here only. We also say that here we are completing our second topic known as transistor biasing. So that's all about today's lecture.